I lived in Port Jefferson for 6 years, and I lived in an apartment that had a cupola on the top, and so I could go up there and look out over the whole town. And I spent a lot of time in town because the apartment was very small, so it was more fun to be outside than inside. And I met the most interesting people in Port Jefferson. It was just incredible how many people that I didn't know were there. I wouldn't have known except that I lived there and I was walking around a lot and maybe getting up early in the morning and sitting outside reading a paper. Hey, you're going to get a rare thing from me. I have long poems. So this one is from a cupola in Port Jefferson. Some nights, the bar across the alleyway spills out angry voices at closing time. In my sleep, I hear women crying out, accusatory, tearful, followed by the monotone rebuke of their men. Car alarms go off at night, each sending their own peculiar caterwauling into the darkness. At first light of morning, an old woman rolls her shopping cart through the parking lot, cans clanging against steel bars, and a staccato percussion to the rumbling wheels. They mix with the smooth tempo of her shuffling feet as she makes her way towards the dumpsters. Nearby, under a street lamp, there's an old blue car in the parking lot, its steamed windows filled with shadowy stacks of newspapers. A woman sleeps there with her old dog, his body bony and brittle. She dresses him in a child's shirt, fashions a sling made from a towel. They inch their way to the curb and back, his paws barely brushing the ground. Further down, a man lives in his green car, rates parking lots for hospitality. He says, there's a difference, you know, between the station and here. They bring out coffee in the parking lots up there. He raves about his car, how comfortable, and isn't it a lovely green? Soon the white, cold sun will rise through the trees to the sharp snap of the ball against the hoop, bringing on another day, much like the previous day, until winter gradually gives way to the haloed March sun, pulling in the warm light of spring. Near the stores, there's a strip of grass with a bench, some bushes behind. I've come down from my cupola to take in the sun, but fail to notice the patch of flattened grass or the collection of take-out coffee cups until he crashes out from the brush behind me, looking alarmed as if an intruder has broken into his house. Startled, I feel like a thief caught in the act of breaking and entering. All summer, people travel to town by various means, the usual way by car or ferry. Some come by rail simply because it's the end of the line. The thin man comes by ferry most days, always holding a single red rose. His hair is combed to perfection, his face scrubbed pearly pink, his eyes fixed on a dream. He walks up Main Street straight to the tea room, takes his usual seat, sips delicately from his cup while watching a pretty young waitress, his queen of hearts. At the precise moment the ferry whistle blows, he stands up with formal grace, bows deeply as he hands her his rose. A man from Mexico looks up from behind the restaurant he works in, sees me peering down from my cupola. Hola, he yells. He tells me how long he's been in town, who he's left behind. I see money from restaurant kitchens, landscape yards take flight, flocks of green birds heading south with wings spun from dreams. And that was my Port Jefferson.